I forgot to turn on my audio interface. In the Jar Football Show, episode 257. I'm your host, Clark Duper. And today we got a good show for you. We got some Georgia Bulldogs conversation. We got which program is going to get the run game together in 2026, among many other things. I'm not with you here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. The Georgia Bulldogs in 2026. Expectations around where they are every year. Kirby Smart, one of the best to do it in the sport, obviously in the conference. And Georgia returning a lot of their players, 16 or 17 players. I just noticed something here. I'm getting distracted. Sorry, guys. 16, 17 returning starters. 68% on returning producers. Georgia's done a good job of returning guys. They rank third, actually. There's a four-way tie across the SEC with returning productions. South Carolina, Texas, Oklahoma, and Georgia all return 68% of their producing players. Now, Georgia returning the guys with the most starts in the SEC. I think this is the best indicator of what kind of team you could expect out of Georgia this year. They got some apparently just alien-looking guys at tight end. The receiver room is the question, and they got a kid coming back. His name's Talon Taylor. They're putting all their chips in the table. They're putting all their chips in the middle of the table on this guy, Talon Taylor, over there at Georgia. They didn't really pursue that many portal receivers this year because they have so much faith in this guy. I think his jersey number is number 1. You got Gunnar Stockton, year 2 as the starter, underrated nationally for his athletic ability and his ability to win games. Stockton in 2025 against Texas, 4 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, was a big problem for Texas. Now, the concern for Gunnar Stockton is, can he prove himself as a fourth quarter game changer? He's got to be able to know when it's crunch time, know when the pressure's on, and flip that switch. Stetson Bennett was a guy. Say what you want about Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was able to do that. He could slice you up in the fourth quarter every time. You remember when he brought Georgia back from down 14 against Ohio State? Or back against the wall against Alabama in the national championship? You guys remember when Stetson Bennett turned it on in those moments? That's what Georgia is going to need out of Gunnar Stockton. Now, were Georgia's receivers incredible last year? You know, you had Zachariah Branch. He was a difference maker. He's not coming back. You have a kid from Georgia Tech who was originally committed to Notre Dame named Isaiah Canyon. And then Talon Taylor, we mentioned him already, first 5-star receiver since George Pickens. Hurt last year, redshirt freshman for him this year in 2026. Georgia, like I said, is betting on this kid instead of spending money on portal receivers. Now, the tight end room for Georgia, probably best in the country. You got 5 or 6 guys in this tight end room who are absolute workhorse studs. Georgia tight ends. Maybe we can screen share some screen share a little bit here. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to fix that right quick. Okay. Lawson Lucky is the unquestioned starting tight end for the Georgia Bulldogs. Elite perimeter blocking, red zone skills. Room boasts deep, versatile talent. Sophomore standouts like Jaden Riddell and Elias Williams, along with returning under-the-radar player Ethan Barber. Let's take a look at Mr. Lawson. Okay. This is not helpful for us. Let's go full screen. Let's go. This is risky. Lawson Lucky, and we got anyways. Okay, I remember this guy. Lawson Lucky. Any videos for old Lawson here? Any film that we could watch?
Owen's in the game now in the back.
Let's turn the sound off. We don't want to trigger copyright. Lawson Lucky, touchdown against Ole Miss. They're holding up threes. I think I remember him scoring a bunch of touchdowns in this game. Look at him. Big white tight end. A lot like Brock Bowers, potentially, just based on race. How about him? Okay. What else we got on old Lawson Lucky? Who else do we want to look at here? Oh, my God. Okay. Jaden Riddell. Let's take a look at him. Jaden Riddell. Not much on Big Jaden. Let's see.
You get when you are a young buck.
When you are a young buck. Where's he at? Old Jaden. Okay, this isn't getting us anywhere. Looks like a big boy. Another Caucasian leaning fella. Elias Williams. 6'7", 2. Wow, he's a big boy, huh? You got our first African-American tight end that we're showing on the show from the University of Georgia right now. Big boy, Elias Williams. 6'7", 245. Camden product. Chipping and slipping out of there, and then nobody wants to tackle him. This is obviously high school tape. That's coming from 2024, so yeah, this kid running under the radar. Look at this. So definitely Elias Williams, the kind of guy that is going to be in on the big package, down close. We're probably going to see Gunnar Stockton pitch it up to him on a couple of fade routes. Elias Williams, next star tight end for the University of Georgia. You got Lawson Lucky. You got, what's the other kid's name? Jaden Riddell. And here's Elias Williams. Elias Williams looks like he could be the star of this group based on this film. He's got very flashy film. And you see it there on the screen. Nightmare.
The defensive prospect. Either way, Elias Williams is going to make a big impact to the next level, so you better keep him. One tight end in the nation is built like LeBron and looks like the next star out of Georgia. I'm talking about 6'7" Elias Williams, and he's an absolute monster on the field. He's ranked as the consensus #1 tight end in the nation, and don't let his size fool you. He can fly. He was a threat to stretch the field at any time last season, frequently going vertical to bring down the football. At the point of catch, he does a good job using his body to ward off defenders, and once the ball was in his hands, he was a nightmare to bring down. His size and speed also has him highly regarded as a defensive prospect. Either way, Elias Williams is going to make a big impact to the next level.
Defensive prospect. Okay, who's the next guy? Ethan Barber. These are all Georgia tight ends. Okay, no film on Barber. Looks like another African American gentleman. He sure is. Look at him. He's a big boy. Tight end for Georgia football. Does he have any media? No, but I love those black uniforms for Georgia. Okay, no film for Ethan Barber. Elias Williams looks to be the stud of this Georgia Bulldog group, tight end group so far. So we got the Georgia tight ends. That's really going to be the difference maker for the Bulldogs in 2026. That's what's going to set them apart. And then I trust in Kirby and his talent evaluation to have the receivers taken care of in 2026. They're taking a chance on guys like Taylor. They're taking a chance on guys like that. They're not heavily investing into the portal. They didn't heavily invest in the portal as much. Let's see what else we got here. Other notes we had on Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs, it's a big challenge following these rosters year in, year out. It's a big challenge because there's so much turnover. Georgia at the top of the SEC in returning production at 68%. Okay, with the pass rush, you've got Gabe Harris, big number 0. This guy is a game wrecker. Critical piece. Made a lot of plays in the Sugar Bowl game against Ole Miss. I remember that game very well. I watch it whenever I get the chance. Gabe Harris, the one that nobody outside of Athens is asking about loudly enough. Georgia's defense, they got this physical brand of football. Even listening to buddies of mine who worked under Kirby talking about how they used to have Bloody Tuesday down at Georgia, and you just do inside drill for an hour and a half, 2 hours of practice, and just buckle down, hand the ball off, and see who wants to hit. See who wants to knock some snot around a little bit. Bloody Tuesday. That's a Kirby Smart tradition that I think every successful modern-day college football program has their own variation of. In order to be a contender at this level, at the highest level of college football, you have to have guys not being able to walk after these early week practices. As a head coach at the highest level of college football, you ought to be able to walk into your locker room after a Monday practice, actually after a Tuesday practice, and see guys laying on the floor outside of their locker because they're too tired to actually sit upright in their locker. Ohio State does it. Urban Meyer's Florida teams used to do it. Kirby's UGA teams do it. Bloody Tuesday. So that's why this Georgia defense absolutely thumps year in, year out. Kirby tells these guys, he say, if you don't want to be physical, go somewhere else, and we'll schedule the team that you go to. because we know we're going to knock the shit out of them. You know, what else about Georgia? That might be the consensus rundown with Georgia. It really just depends on what Stockton's ceiling is, how he responds in pressure situations. Because again, say what you want about Stetson Bennett, at the college level, Stetson Bennett responded in pressure moments. Stetson played better football in those pressurized moments. I'm not saying Stockton hasn't or can't. It just hasn't shown up as strongly. So Georgia's propensity to go all the way and come back to college football royalty, I do consider Georgia a modern-day college football blue blood. Modern day. I consider modern day to be from 2021 to present day. That was the year that NIL became legal. Georgia is a modern day college football blue blood, guys. Now, and we've talked about the definition of blue blood on the show before. Like, blue blood is kind of based on the past. So how far back do you have to go? Because if you have to go back further than 2021, I don't know if you can call Georgia a blue blood. But if we're starting in the year 2021 to present day, I consider Georgia a college football blue blood. What do you guys think? So we got Georgia. Georgia, to summarize, their biggest strength is their tight end room. Their biggest question mark is their receiver room. And I think that if you have ridiculous, overwhelming talent at tight end, that's a matchup nightmare for opposing teams. You really don't need an incredible receiver room. I'm not saying Julian Edelman was a bad player. In fact, the opposite. I'm not saying Wes Welker was a bad player. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. But in those, what year was Gronk a young buck? Gronk was a guy who was the focal point of that New England Patriots offense for some time. Everything in that offense revolved around Gronk because, at least in modern day football, the trump card is a match. The trump card on offense is a matchup nightmare, massive tight end that can still somehow fly. And the reason it's an issue is that these guys are bigger than the backers. Or sorry, they're faster than the backers and bigger than the safeties. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. It's just a matchup nightmare. It's a tough cover for a linebacker. It's a tough cover for a safety. And Georgia's got 4 or 5 of these guys, man. They've got a ton of them. So, going about 18 minutes, man. I got to head down to the gym. In the Jar Football Show. Episode 257. Appreciate you guys watching. Let us know in the comments if there's anything we're missing in college football and the SEC that you'd like to hear us talk about. We update this show daily on all audio platforms, and obviously you can watch on this channel on YouTube as well. We stream live to Twitter, so follow us on there. And really appreciate everybody popping in. Per usual, I'm your host, Clark Dupree. This is my show, In the Jar Football Show. We're live every single weekday. Make sure and hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think, and hit that like button too. Appreciate everybody popping in. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.